All right, here we are for the final part of Secret Paths to the Sea. Meet our final friend, help her with her problems. So, going back into the box, there's one little thing I was going to show off that you can actually have more than one girl out at a time. I think it's 3 is the max, and that's why they're all kind of sitting in different places in the room. They can all hang out together, and you can kind of mix and match and set the scene, kind of like you can change up the sofa and stuff. But we're just gonna focus in on our last friend now and meet her, hear her story.
Hey, I'm Viva. My parents say they love me, but the way they've been acting lately makes me feel like they don't love me at all.
Okay. Well, that does seem like a problem. We'll get a little more detail on that then.
See, my mom and dad always say they want the best for me, but then they do these totally crazy things. Like last week, they told me that next year I'm going to have to go to a new school. They say it's a lot better, but don't they know that I like my school? I mean, if I change schools, I won't have any friends at all.
Well, yeah, I mean, changing schools is not an easy thing. It's a bit of a leap to my parents don't love me. I guess my parents aren't listening to me, might be more accurate, but who knows. So Viva was also in Secret Paths to the Forest. She was actually, I think, the demo disc story that you could play. So she, in my mind, was kind of the flagship character. Secret possums in the forest. But her folktale in that story was kind of like a bayou-based musical chicken story, if I recall correctly. So it's kind of a nice detail that her path here is also kind of a bayou-based.
The whole thing just doesn't make any sense. We've lived in the same house since I was really little, and I've known my friends here forever. And now, all of a sudden, Mom and Dad think it's a good idea to change everything just so I can go to some dumb school that they say has a good music and dance program? I don't know. Dad's going to have to change his hours around so he can drive me, and I'm going to lose all my friends. It's crazy.
I think there's a balance of listening to your kids and what they want versus what you think is best for them. A la Nicole's story. Parents just want her to have all these advantages and learn all these things, but even if it's making her miserable. And is it similar for Viva? I don't know, but her parents seem to know her pretty well. She's adaptable and she's not moving, and I think that's a big part of it. I guess my personal piece with this story was making friends, not the easiest thing, but keeping old friends surprisingly easy comparatively. If you have the phone and a lot of free time, you can keep your old friends for a while.
But I'm going to lose all my friends. I don't understand.
Honey, we're doing this for you. This new school will offer you challenges and a great music and dance program.
Sweetheart, your mom and I want you to have every opportunity in life. Your new school is much better than the schools around here, and I promise you, you'll meet a lot of other creative kids just like you.
But what if I don't want to be challenged? What if I refuse to go anywhere?
Viva, the decision's already been made. We're doing this because we love you.
Oh!
So I'll confess, I did not like Viva in the first game, and so when I first played this, many years later as a quasi-adult, I was not sympathetic with her at all. I thought she was being selfish and whiny. Make frog noises. Gotta match the frog noises. What a beautiful orchestra. But, it isn't fair to say that Viva's just being whiny. It's not that she doesn't have a point of view or that this isn't going to be hard for her, but it was just that I did not particularly like her the way that she acted in the first one, and I think her problem had something to do with dance and maybe being attacked by the Riddler based on that stone. But her attitude toward body types and things like that just did not strike a chord with me. So, see, that alligator is just decorative. Sometimes they're puzzle related, sometimes just decorative. He's very, very cute though. Much more active than most of the alligators that I have met. But there you are. So I realized as I was about to leave this area, there's actually a little story scene hiding next to that tree, and I almost missed it, because I think it stops animating while you're going through this little lantern sequence, but gotta have a sharp eye, these secret paths to catch all the mysteries and all the little bits and pieces. See, it started animating again, but... Oh, preview of the folktale. Fire is involved. That's very promising. So her path is pretty straightforward. The puzzle's pretty easy.
Hi, Mom!
Yes, yes. Jack and I have told Viva all about it. Well, you could say that. She really isn't looking forward to leaving her friends behind. Granted, it will be a tough transition, but both Jack and I know it's the best thing. And Viva's resilient. I'm sure she'll adjust quickly. Well, I'll send you the last of the paperwork by the end of this week. Thank you so much, Mrs. Glenn.
I feel like even her mom looks like a 90s mom. Like that short blonde bob cut that came into being in the early 2000s is like the mom hairdo. I feel like it was more that kind of long ponytail thing, or maybe that was just where I lived. Long ponytail with the mom jeans. I feel like that was the 90s mom look. But oh, check it out. Pelicans, surprisingly gross bird, by the way. Do not watch them for too long, or they will show you their spinal cord. Hey, making new friends. Learning about their cultures. It's an opportunity, Viva. You're social. You'll love it. It'll be great. Well, hopefully the folktale will be able to convince her, because we are at the end of our last path and the beginning of our last folktale.
The Fire of Wisdom. Many generations ago on the island of Mindanao, there lived a young girl named Nico. Nico and her grandmother lived atop a mountain that overlooked a tiny village. One day, Nico returned from a trip to the village with some very strange news. "Grandmother," she cried as she burst into the hut. "Grandmother, the sea is disappearing. The sea is leaving the land." Liloy immediately set down her weaving. "Describe to me what you have seen, child, and do not forget any details." Nico told her grandmother everything about the water that traveled backwards, about the beaches that were becoming dry. Liloy slowly rose. "Child, run to the work hut, grab every torch you can find, and bring them to me, quickly, quickly." "They do not know," whispered Liloy. "But I do. I remember." When Nico returned with the bundles, Liloy began thrusting them into their need fire. "Follow me and do exactly as I do." Nico's throat tightened in fear. Suddenly, deliberately, Liloy thrust her burning torches into the dry stalks of rice. "Grandmother," Nico cried. "Stop! I don't understand." The girl was sure that her aged grandmother had finally lost her mind. Down the mountain, villagers saw the smoke. Word spread like the fire itself. "To the mountain! To the mountain!" cried the villagers. "To save Liloy and Nico!" The people ran up the mountain, prepared to fight the blaze. But Liloy put out her arm. "No, let it burn." "My grandmother's gone mad," Nico sobbed. "She is burning our food on purpose." Liloy waited until the last villager puffed up the hill. Then she gathered them all together at the edge of the mountain. Liloy pointed to the dry beach below. "Look." To the villagers' amazement, a dark wall of water thundered toward them. "Friends, there has been an earthquake at sea," the wise woman said. "It happened once when I was a girl. First, the sea is pulled back, but soon it returns." No sooner had Liloy spoken, but the terrible wave crashed against the island. The ground shook beneath their feet. Their huts and boats were splintered like dry stalks of rice. Liloy had saved their lives. "You see now why I burn my crops." Liloy said. Nico wiped away her tears and bowed her head in respect. Everyone worked together to extinguish Liloy's fire, and Nico found a few stalks of rice that had been spared by the flames. May I help you plant the fields again? Nico said, reaching out for Liloy's strong brown hand.
Sometimes it's really hard to understand what Mom and Dad are doing, but I guess they really do love me, even though things they do can seem scary or confusing on the outside. It's going to be really hard to switch schools and everything, and I'm really going to miss my friends, but at least my parents understand what I'm feeling. They're showing me it takes courage to change something that's really big, so maybe I can use my courage too.
Yes, it's good to question people. You shouldn't just blindly do what people tell you to do, but, neither should you just dig your heels in. There's no way somebody else knows better.
I'm Charlotte. Hi.
Oh well. So that was Secret Paths to the Sea. We met all our little friends and heard all their little stories. I feel like this game really holds up. I mean, the problems that everybody has are fairly timeless. I feel like, nothing was so specific to that time period, or even necessarily to that age bracket. You can learn something from this if you keep an open mind at any age. And so we can redecorate one more time, explore. I actually discovered while I was clicking around that there's more you can do with these windows depending on which part of the window you click, which I did not know. So there's probably even more things that I'm showing here. But I think what I really admire about this game, and I think what really does hold up, is the diversity of stories. Like there's, from getting your parents are divorced and dealing with feelings of abandonment and feeling different, all the way to somebody's copying me, or something that might sound more frivolous in the face of that, but that girl's still going through something, and that's still really tough and still needs to be dealt with. And I think that, combined with how natural the diversity of the girls feels, it feels representative. So I think that holds up pretty well. The stories hold up pretty well, and even the art direction and everything. I mean, obviously, like the still animations and stuff aren't as fluid as they could be, but I think it's not trying to be cutting edge. It feels watercolored and more timeless. So I'm still really pleased with it, and I'm putting it out on the internet, and hopefully anybody who's looking for it can find it and enjoy it. And if I can ever get Secret Paths to the Forest working, I'll put it out there too for anybody to see. But we're at the end of our adventure, so I hope you have enjoyed this trip down memory lane. And so let's see who made this wonderful game and give credit where credit's due. Enjoy the beautiful images one more time. Take care. Register? Oh man, wait, I want cool stuff.